wanted it. You want it again and again. Andy Thurman won his first Hooters Pro Cup race at the beginning of the season in Lakeland, Florida, and now he's back.
Well, you definitely want to go back now. Once you've been to victory lane that first time, it's I don't know how second's going to feel now.
USAR is back at the USA International Speedway, and Thurman is ready to repeat his victory. But with such a strong field of drivers, can he battle his way to victory lane again? United Speed Alliance Racing 2000, the Hooters Pro Cup Series for the new millennium. Hello and welcome everyone to the Lucas Oil 250 at USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. I'm Brian Drever as always with Bill Venturini here in the booth and Stephen Cox down on pit road. New for this week, as a race car driver, the car you qualify, Bill, is exactly the car you go racing with.
Yeah, now if you don't think this is a thinking game, how do you set the car up? Do you set it up to qualify, to make the show, or do you set it up to race? The guys that are always questionable if they're going to make the show, do you gamble? This is what we're going to have to find out today.
Andy Thurman, winner of the first race of the season here, has a comment about just that new program.
Just puts a real big emphasis on practice, you know, really getting as many laps as you can, trying different things. And I know we ran a lot more laps today than we normally run, just trying different things, and just trying to get the best combination that'll be, good for qualifying and good for the race. So it just, I guess it put a lot more pressure on, so you don't have that to fall back on. I was like, well, let's see what it'll do in 2 laps of qualifying, and then have that, that extra adjustment to be able to make after that for the race. It's just, you got to be pretty close on both.
Under the setting sun here at Lakeland, Florida, a lot of drivers and crew chiefs are going to be pondering the question about whether or not the car they qualified is good enough to go racing. Well, the guys up on the front row are with Stephen Cox. Let's go downstairs.
Well, qualifications just got a whole lot more interesting, and here's why. Because starting today, you can no longer make any changes at all to your race car once qualifications have ended. Now, here's what that means. No wedge changes, no spring adjustments, no shock absorber adjustments. You can't touch your car. It's essentially, for all practical purposes, impounded. Now, what that does to the race car drivers, that means they have to come out in hot sunshine on a greasy, unpredictable, probably loose racetrack and try to guess at the best qualifying setup to go racing with that night after the track totally changes. Now, the guy that did it best, at least so far, is on the Discount Auto Parts poll, and it's Mario Gosselin. Congratulations. The question is, though, did you qualify with a race setup, or did you race with a qualifying setup?
Well, the Carter Grant Aluminum Grading Chevrolet had a really good race setup. We qualified with a race setup, played with air pressures a little bit. They let us readjust air pressure after qualifying, and that was basically all we did from our race setup, was just air pressure adjustments.
Mario Gosselin, your Discount Auto Parts pole sitter here in Lakeland, Florida. Not really a big surprise as the crews are getting ready. Let's take a look at the top 10 in points. Marty Lindley with 2 wins is the guy atop the point standings. Gosselin second right behind him. 3 rookies, 7 veterans among the top 10.
Okay, now we've got the rookies in the top 10, and we've got the veterans. And again, we're going to find out who's got it tonight. So far, the rookies haven't been able to prove it right, but we'll find out tonight.
Doing a fine job in qualifying, but yes, they have not yet gotten to victory lane.
Drivers, start your engines.
Jim Terrio with the command that we all wait to hear every time we go racing in the USAR Hooters Pro Cup.
Talking about waiting here, I've been doing this 28 years, and those words just really excite me when I hear, gentlemen, start your engines.
If you've got red blood in your veins and you're a race fan, that will get you excited, and especially if you're behind the wheel of a race car. Coming up, the next big thrill, the green flag. The USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants. Hooters, delightfully tacky yet unrefined. And by Jackaroo Sausage. Jackaroo tastes so great they named a steakhouse after it. By Naturally Fresh Dressings. It's not just our name, it's our promise. And by Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer. Clear skies and great conditions here at USA International right now. A light shower just after qualifying, though, as we take a look at our weather, brought to you by Renegade Race Trailers. Bill?
It was really humid, but now it's clearing out. It's going to be perfect for racing tonight.
Cooled the track off just a little bit here today, so indeed, that's going to be an interesting factor as we take a look at the layout here at USA International.
Yeah, this is the fastest and the biggest racetrack that the Hooters Pro Cup Series goes to for the year, and it makes it really exciting because they have good wide corners. It makes 2, 3 wide, and this is the track that everyone gets excited to go to.
Our Jackaroo Sauces starting grid. You met the pole sitter Mario Gosselin alongside the veteran Bobby Gill, defending champion of the series in the PGT Industries Ford. Brian Vickers, the first rookie in the field in the CV Products Chevrolet, and Marty Lindley, 2-time winner this season, is also on row 2.
Inside row 3, another rookie, John Wood in the GoRacing.com Ford. Next to him, Martin Nesbitt in the State Fair Brand Corn Dog Chevrolet.
And back on row number 4 is Darrell Hayes, the number 45 car, the Carlin Financial Chevrolet, with Jonathan Brown, rookie driver, in the number 9 out of Sarasota, Florida.
Row 5, inside Mike Laughlin Jr. in the Valenite Tool Ford, and next to him, John Kinder in the Chevrolet.
Back in the next row, it's Jeremy Bowser in the number 58 car, the Ingleside Interiors entry. Shane Huffman goes in the 84 car, and that's the Johnsonville Bratwurst Ford. And then we go back to row number 7 with veteran Bill Plemons Jr. in the Hooters Restaurants number 15, and Sean Studer, rookie driver, in the Yoo-Hoo Chocolate Drink number 36.
Bill Plemons, always a pleasure to interview. Inside row 8, Tim Edwards in the Chevrolet, and next to him, Jeff Agnew in the Twin City Motor Exchange Chevrolet.
Former champion. Row 9 is Stephen Christian in the Lucas Oil Products car number 0, and Clayton Rogers, rookie driver, very fast in the last couple of races in the number 2 entry.
Row 10, Don Satterfield in the Hawksaw Blade Chevrolet, who's had a good run this season, really impressing me this year. And next to him, Stacy Purrier in the Black's Tire Chevrolet.
We go back to row number 11 with Jerry Rector, who's having his best season in the Reds Grill number 77. And number 37, Brad Webb, a new face, driving the City Wrecker Service Ford.
Row 12, Andy Thurman, past winner of the first race here this year. And next to him, Karen Schultz in the Naturally Fresh Dressings and Dips Pontiac.
Regan Smith, rookie driver in the number 28 car, starts row number 13 with David Buggy Pletcher, also a rookie, in the 51. And then we go back to row 14. Marty Ward, former crew chief, driver extraordinaire, and Dusty Williams this week in the Mahaney Construction, car number 38.
Row 15, Jabe Jones in the Jackaroo Sauces Chevrolet, and next to him, Tim Clayton in the Budweiser Chevrolet.
We go back to row number 16, and we'll see Trent Owens in the 1-800-B Petty car, and number 90, Brad Barkus, another new face in the Fast Equipment GM Chevrolet. And row number 17 will pop up here, where we have Curtis Davis, rookie driver in the 00, and veteran Charlie Ford, who's also having a terrific year in the Sun Graphics Chevy.
Row 18, inside Jason Bowser, the other Bowser brother, and outside of him, Chad Mullis, another rookie in a Ford.
On row number 19, David Craddock and Jimmy McLean, number 79 and 3 cars respectively. These guys have been making sporadic appearances in the Hooters Pro Cup. And finally, back on row number 20, Derek Kelly, a provisional in the Discount Auto Parts number 21, and Mike Herman Jr., a provisional in the number 34, today's Fireplaces car.
Boy, Derek Kelly having to take another provisional. He's really been struggling this year.
Only 4 drivers failed to make the field here, and you just saw their names. Almost everybody got in. They're allowing 40 cars to start, because the 3/4 mile track here will take it. Onboard cameras. Derek Kelly, well, hardly anybody behind him in the Discount Auto Parts Chevrolet in the number 21. He's on the final row. Dusty Williams will be carrying a camera on board the Mahaney Construction car, number 38. And you'll see the view from out the windshield. Buggy Pletcher in the Big Daddy's Barbecue Sauce. Same view. He's up in the middle of the field.
See him adjust his mirror. You know, you got to know where everyone is on the racetrack, not only in front of you but also behind you. And we're looking out the front window of the Andy Thurman Naturally Fresh Spring Water Ford. Another shot looking out the front window.
And finally, the 0 car of Stephen Christian of the Lucas Oil Products Chevrolet, looking out through the windshield. And it's always a ride when you're along with Stephen Christian, who has been doing very well in the last few races after he struggled a little in the first race of the season. Stephen Christian is back on track, getting ready to go racing with Mario Gosselin, the pole sitter, and Bobby Gill on the outside. Sometimes these fellas are a little bit deeper in the field as Mike Earlett waves the green flag. and they find themselves during the course of the race. Well, no trouble spotting Mario Gosselin and Bobby Gill, both of whom know this track very well. They are the front row, and Gill is edging in front of Gosselin now. Let's see, but Gosselin comes underneath on the short line to hold the lead going down the backstretch.
Bobby Gill had, Mario Gosselin had the preferred line going into the corner. Oh, we got a wreck in the middle of the corner.
Oh, already a caution, and the 92 car of Stacy Puryear has gone around and is resting against the wall. No obvious damage on this side, and no real damage, it would appear, on the other side either. Just a slow loop. And Stacy Puryear is getting going again. Here he comes out of the middle of the field. Just got a little bit loose, tried to catch it, and it went the other way on him. And
he just barely touched the wall. I mean, you know, you can see. Let's see if we can see it from Andy Thurman's car. If we can see what happened.
Now the smoke coming off the tires, and there's the problem.
Yeah.
A little bit rear brake.
I don't know. You could see he got into the corner, and smoke definitely poured. Yeah, he has a problem. Looks like he might have an oil leak or something. Got into the corner, the car got loose, and he spun around.
Well, while Stacy Puryear takes the RBR Enterprises Chevy down for a look, we'll take a break. Be right back. Welcome back to Lakeland, Florida. Buggy Pletcher's got the Big Daddy's barbecue sauce car down on pit road, and the crew's working on it. He was involved in the accident with Stacy Puryear in the Black's tire car. And from on board with Buggy Pletcher, we see the crewmen getting out of the way, and he returns to action. Here's what happened. Oh, yeah. You can see it coming.
Yeah, right there.
Yep. He tags into the back of Karen Schultz's car number 89, the Naturally Fresh car.
Well, I saw in that accident. Oh, we got Jason Bowser also coming down.
Jason Bowser in the very much look-alike car, the Big Daddy's backup number 151, and he's taking it behind the wall. That's never good. Steven, what's going on down there?
Well, David Pletcher, another rookie, got caught up in the very same mess that was caused by the oil line on Stacy Puryear's car. Now, a lot of guys tried to check up and stay out of trouble when Puryear's puff of smoke came out. And if you take a close look at the tape over here on David Pletcher's War Wagon, you'll see that these guys are ready for him next time he comes back in. They said they're going to stay out for right now. They don't want to risk losing a lap. David's already at the very back of the field, but they feel that the body damage on the race car right now is not so bad that they're going to get black flagged, and David can still run.
Well, we don't need this part anymore, as one of the crew guys dumps off some body work over by the hauler, and we're getting ready to go back to racing, but minus a few pieces.
Stay tuned for more explosive USAR racing action
right here on Speed Vision.
Sure is a bonus deal for the fans in the stands here at USA International, as the Hooters girls are handing out free stuff for all the fans, as they always do. Hi, girls. How are you? As we get ready to go back to the green flag here behind Mario Gosselin and Bobby Gill. The front row lined up 1-2 right now. Pole sitter Mario Gosselin was able to get the jump and lead in spite of the quick caution.
This is something the guys in the middle of the pack and towards the back don't want to see, was a yellow right away, because it all of a sudden strings out 40 cars.
Take a look at our Discount Auto Parts field summary. Gosselin, Gill, and rookie Brian Vickers. Let's go downstairs, Stephen Cox.
Well, here's Stacy Puryear's problem. He had an oil line let go as they were coming out of turn number 4, and the crew says they have a huge mess on their hands right now. They've already gone back to green, and Stacy Puryear, one of the favorites going into this season for the Hooters Pro Cup rookie title, sits idly in the pits.
Out front, no problem for Gosselin.
That's a bad break for Stacy, you know. He was running tight for the rookie race for the year, and something like this really hurts your chances.
Third, fourth, and fifth on the racetrack right now are Brian Vickers in the 42 car, the two quick performance shocks, then John Wood in the GoRacing.com, pair of rookies, and Marty Lindley, the only two-time winner for the season. And behind him, it's Martin Nesbitt, the number 30 State Fair brand Corn Dog Chevrolet, as we look at some action deep in the field. Mike Laughlin Jr. coming inside in the Valonite Tool Muzzy Broadhead Ford, and he's in definitely on the inside there, and moving forward, he must have set up his car for the race. You know, he qualified a little bit deep in the field, but here he is moving towards the front.
You know, we were talking about this a little earlier. Is this an advantage, or is this a nightmare to the crew chiefs? How do you set the car up? You know, if you know you're going to make the show and you're going to be, you know, strong in the field, you're qualifying, I go with the race setup. There's no doubt about it, because, you know, you're talking 250 laps, and that's what it takes to win the race.
Problems continue for Stacy Purrier, but no problem for Mario Gosselin, who definitely hit the race setup, as did Bobby Gill. And already up front, things are getting spread out a little bit. The lead that Gosselin has is quite impressive for so few laps that have been counted down.
Yeah, but we've seen this all year long. Somebody jumps out to a big lead, and all of a sudden, halfway or a quarter way through the race, it'll change.
Bill Clements Jr. and Jonathan Brown racing against each other. Clements in the Hooters car, Jonathan Brown in the U.S. Tank and Cryogenics Sterling Marlin Chevrolet. A good look at the 9 and a good look at Mario Gosselin in his number 16 car, the Irmo Grading Addy Dodge Carter Grandel entry. And man, he is alone on the racetrack. Looks like qualifying, but it is the race. From on board with Stephen Christian, he works down inside on Tim Edwards.
Not quite, not quite. Tim's got a good run coming off the corner. You can hear the throttle. You can hear.
Oh, oh, a little tap there. But Edwards was able to gather it back up. Stephen Christian backed out after tapping him just a little bit. Look at Mike Laughlin Jr.
You see him come off the corner.
Man,
sideways.
He's going everywhere trying to fake these guys out. He's got a two-man blocking run going up front. Now he goes with Marty Lindley down low and gets around John Wood and the GoRacing.com number 116, leading rookie in the standings right now.
But you know, if you're Mike Laughlin Jr., you gotta wonder, you know, what has Marty Lindley done in the last couple races? He's won 2 of them, so Mike Laughlin says, "I'll just follow him." Good shot right now to Andy Thurman's car.
Yeah, Andy Thurman watching Jerry Rector banging on Stephen Christian to get by, and he does.
You know, I don't know who we have to give credit to these shots, but it seems like every time we go into these in-car cameras, we get some pretty good action. I don't know if that's our producer, director, or cameraman here, but I like it.
Stephen Christian, who was fast qualifier at Peach State Speedway in Georgia a couple of races back. And, you know, what's happening, I don't know if you're noticing it, Bill, but I certainly am, that this can't work on the car after qualifying thing has definitely made some cars that are deep in the field. They set up for the race, and they are really moving forward through the field, and impatiently in the case, for instance, of Mike Laughlin Jr. Now we're seeing Jerry Rector, who's obviously got a good race set up heading towards the front. And you know, there is some difference that's much more obvious now.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see that all year long, except, you know, then you got a guy like Mario Gosselin who sits on the front row and he takes off and he's kind of leaving everyone right now. But, you know, again, this rule change, being a driver and a car owner and a crew chief, you know, I've played the whole gamut in this industry. I don't know if I'd like it or not, because it takes away some of the, you know, the ingenuity of what it takes to qualify versus what it takes to make the race. But it makes it a more level playing field for everybody. So I got to, you know, compliment him on that. But, you know, now you're going to see if a guy is a true racer versus just a good qualifier.
Looking at the 45, Darrell Hayes, Carlin Financial Chevrolet, leading a long freight train of cars around the track right now. We continue to look a little bit deeper in the field once in a while to find some good racing, and right now it is John Kinder in the DailyDrill.com car that's kind of challenging Hayes a little bit, and on the outside, Jeremy Bowser, the Ingleside Interiors Ford, taking a little bit of a high line through a couple of the corners. To get back to the argument that you were making, what I see, and again as mostly an observer, is that certain drivers, owners, mechanics, crew chiefs are good no matter where you go. They've got thick notebooks on how to set a car up. They make small changes based on the conditions for that night, but the good cars are always good. The ones that take a few chances, that are still learning how to make their cars good, are the guys who either guess right and get a good spot on the grid, or they guess wrong and they're deep in the field. When it comes to racing, that all kind of levels out. But here we're seeing, you know, we're seeing the guys who aren't quite so good and can't take those chances being exposed a little bit.
Okay, did you go to school to learn all of this?
Well, I don't know. You know, it's just from watching.
No, you're right.
You know, you see guys that start deep in the field, and of course, Derek Kelly being an example of a team that's pretty good, but they're struggling with a car that they have yet to come to grips with. They had to take a provisional. How good are they for the race? We'll see.
You know, yeah, you talk about this track was being Mario's home track. This is also Derek Kelly's home track, and you know, you got to remember, Derek Kelly last year was 2 laps down.
Yeah.
Made up the 2 laps and won the race. So, you know, here's a guy that's starting last. Doesn't seem to affect on his finish. Oh, you got the car number 90, Brad Barkus, in the pits right now. And that's not a good sign when you see smoke coming out the exhaust pipe.
Nope. When everybody else is still racing under the green flag and you're down on pit road, that is on the list of things that are not good.
That's an expensive pit stop.
Jerry Rector continues a forward march, taking Shane Huffman with him. The Johnsonville Bratwurst Genio Ford number 84. There's Derek Kelly, and he is definitely working his way through this field. Started 39th, yep, up 15 spots.
See?
So he knows his way around this racetrack. And whatever it is that they were fooling around with during qualifying, Harold Hopper and the crew on the Discount Auto Parts car, they either went back to or found what they needed for the race. He goes inside on Jabe Jones' Jackaroo Sauces 09. And now on Don Satterfield's Hawk Saw Blades. So let me do the math real quick. That's 2 more spots. He would be up to 22nd right now. Derek Kelly definitely marching towards the front. Another look at the Discount Auto Parts field summary, slightly different than before. Not among the top 3, however. They are the same. Brian Vickers is still there.
And looking at the time differential, Mario Goslin is not pulling away from the rest of the field right now.
Well, he did all that very quickly on fresh tires early in the race. Apparently, that was when his car was handling the best. Whether it'll continue to be good on long runs, we will have to wait and see. He is still the leader. Derek Kelly is gapping the car he just passed.
Well, I have to compliment the USAR officials, because you notice the back window in that car was no longer sucking down. They've definitely done their homework.
Working the watches down there. Here is a good look at the faces inside the helmets, inside the cockpits of the top 5 cars, and now the top 10. Jeff Agnew finishing the first 10. John Kinder's there in the 08 car. Darrell Hayes. Martin Esbit, saw him earlier, and John Wood in the 116 car. Here's Dusty Williams on board the Mahaney Construction Company car. Listening to him smoothly on and off the throttle.
But did you notice he's a little more hesitant picking up the throttle than we were from the other in-car cameras. You can tell he's just hesitating a little too long in the center of the corner.
Look from the outside. We spotted that silver number 38. There he is on the right there. As we look on board from Buggy Pletcher's number 51, and there it is.
I'm thinking to myself, no, hang on, Buggy. You don't want to go 3 wide going into the corner.
You can, but it's still not a good idea. Now he makes the move, shoots off on the inside. Let's see if he's going to get pinched down by the 00 of Curtis Davis. Nope, Davis gives him racing room. And David Pletcher, well, I thought he was going to complete the pass. He's definitely got position now on the inside, and he is able to turn the car down a little bit while Davis seems to have relatively a little bit of a push.
And look what's happened. Mario Goslin's stuck in traffic, and now Bobby Gill is right on his bumper.
You could almost call this Bobby Gill's home track, but then as we have a yellow flag coming out, and it's the 9 car of Jonathan Brown facing the wrong way on the racetrack. The point I was going to make is that Bobby Gill treats every track like his home track, doesn't he?
It doesn't matter where we're at for him to run good.
No, he can win anywhere.
That car's pretty well heavily damaged in the front end. Let's see if we can see it from the in-car cameras.
Well, not sure if there was any contact there, but for sure, Jonathan Brown left the race in a hurry.
That's definitely water coming out of the radiator.
Yep. That's going to leave some fluid on the track and some cleanup for the safety crew to do here at USA International.
Welcome back to the Lucas Oil 250
at the USA International Speedway.
Thank you, girls. Some of their colleagues still work in the stands.
Head one on his head, one on his ear, both ears.
Hey, it's a full-service operation here at the USAR Hooters Pro Cup, and a family atmosphere. Some of our youngest fans are enjoying the pleasures of childhood while we're under caution here at the racetrack. Now, earlier this season, Miller Lite Beer sponsored what is called the Hooters of America Tour 2000 to choose the restaurant with the best atmosphere, service, and overall enjoyment to guests. Here are some of the highlights.
They took 45 days to go 9,300 miles to do this.
We left a perfectly good fire at the hunting camp to come here to be a Hooter. Thank you. It's a lot damn warmer here. For some reason, I don't know why. And a lot better scenery, too.
Yeah.
Well, they went a little bit of everywhere and saw a little bit of everything, including Milwaukee, home of Harley Davidson, and burnouts are the order of the night, along with some creative stickers.
I'd rather push my Harley than drive a Honda.
I'm not sure I agree with that myself. George Karl of the Milwaukee Bucks trying to make a bucket. And of course, the Hooters girls were everywhere along the way. Cornelius Bennett, NFL star, as the tour traveled south from Milwaukee to Florida, to Lakeland, Florida, in fact, for the Dale Jarrett Brett Favre driving school.
Yeah, they have a nice little driving school at USA International Speedway here.
Oh, that scared me for a minute.
And March Madness, that was in my hometown in Charlotte.
And the Hooters cooks are raising the roof back in the kitchen. The search for the perfect Hooters restaurant as the Hooters of America Tour 2000 was quite an experience.
Well, bad break for Shane Huffman and his Johnsonville Bratwurst Ford is getting pushed behind the wall right now.
Well, that's another thing on the list of things that aren't good when all the guys dressed alike are pushing the car in the middle of the race.
Stacy, for a moment, I thought you guys had found the problem and fixed it. What turned out?
Well, we drug a oil line off. It must have had a hole in it from qualifying or something. You know, the new rule, you can't touch the cars after qualifying. And unfortunately, drug a hole in the oil line, and we got it fixed and then went back out, and something happened to the engine. So just unfortunate. I want to thank Black's Tire, and, you know, just look forward to going to Montgomery.
Now, talk about this new rule a little bit. You got snake bit tonight. Do you like it or do you not like it?
Well, not really, you know. I mean, you need to be able to look over your cars, but the USAR officials are trying to keep the competition, you know, in line and just make it a little better for all the racers, but it just bit us tonight.
Well, I think depending on the situation, you'll like or not like that new rule. Wouldn't you say so, Bill?
Yeah, we'll see how it works out.
We'll be right back. Our second visit to Lakeland, Florida, and it's the Lucas Oil 250. Jonathan Brown is out of the car. What's going on, Stephen?
Well, first of all, Jonathan, how are you? Are you okay?
I'm all right. I have a little laceration in my arms from the belts and all, but I'm all right.
You ever been hit like that before?
I've never hit the wall that hard in my life. I mean, that was a hard lick. And it's all right. It's too bad for the car. It's totaled. But I went in that turn. I was using a lot of brakes to get in better, because I couldn't get off as good as the other guys. And when I got on the brakes, went to the floor, I think just the brake fluid started boiling over, and I had no brakes. So I've done it before, but I didn't hit the wall. But this time it's done.
Well, another driver who may not be a fan of the new rule, because who knows, if they would have had a chance to look at the car, they may have found something. It's hard to say, but in any case, Mario Gosselin gets ready to go back to the green with David Craddock down inside. The Pipeline Utilities Semco Ford is the first car not on the lead lap, on the inside row there.
You notice Jonathan Brown made the comment. He got on the brakes, and there was no brake pedal, and the car spun around. What happens is usually you boil the front brake fluid. When you push the pedal all the way to the floor, as you get into the corner, the back brakes still do work a little, and what happens is when you have too much rear brake, it'll spin the car around, and I think that's what happened.
Mario Gosselin and Bobby Gill. Seems like those two names are tied together like one sometimes as we look at our Sunoco full field rundown. Yeah. Brian Vickers is still third.
That's just what I was going to make a comment. You talk about, you know, the two leaders, but hanging in third on the outside lane right now was Brian Vickers in the Too Quick Shock Chevrolet.
Clayton Rogers and Sean Studer, pair of rookie drivers together, just inside the top 15. Jerry Rector leads the next 5 and 16th spot. Derek Kelly, the 21 car, is up to 21st. Karen Schultz Struggling just a little bit in the naturally fresh car back there. Trent Owens in the Petty Driving Experience car also suffering just a little bit today from a not so good run. And here we have the attrition that speaks for itself. We're monitoring Steve Christian and his crew chief Scott Sutherland. Let's listen in.
Too tight in the middle and off. 10-4. Getting a little bit better where you can pick up the throttle, you know, lock it up and drive it. Up until the last few laps, it wouldn't do that. You'd hook up a throttle and shove a nose. If you just ease in it or stayed in it or whatever, it would just continue to drive a nose. All right, the fuel's going to burn off. The panic bar is going to come up. It's probably going to start rotating, so it's going to turn better. I'm just trying to decide what we're going to change on when we come in.
And now our interpreter, Bill Venturini.
Well, you know, they're talking about the car getting lighter in the rear end because of the fuel burning off, and it will change the characteristic of the car. But did you notice how calm these guys are? You got to realize.
Whoa.
It looked like Bobby Gill just broke.
Oh, yeah, he's slowing down big time. He was right on Gosselin's bumper, and now he's gone. We're not sure what happened, but something definitely happened to Bobby Gill's car as we continue to watch the leader.
Oh, definitely.
Yep, there he is, slowing down way off the racing line, and this could be some sort of terminal mechanical problem for Bobby Gill.
You know, this has been his story this season. He either runs up front, you know, first or second, or he's been braking. You know, unfortunately, if you get a DNF, this is what hurts you for your points chase for the year.
Tough break as the PGT Industries car goes down onto pit road, leaving Mario Gosselin out there all alone. But I'm sure that Mario won't have a problem with loneliness. That's not that's not a downside when you're leading a race. Look at Bobby Gill heading down to the pits.
Oh yeah, they're opening the hood. That looks like there's some type of engine problem.
So another good look at Mario Gosselin in the Carter Grandel Ermo Grading car number 16, and yep, they're digging under the hood. Searching for mysteries, I'm sure, with very few clues right now. Bobby will tell them what happened. Problems also for the Mahaney Construction car number 38. Smoke coming out as Dusty Williams wheels it down towards pit road.
Well, we've seen a lot of engine problems here tonight. You know, this big 3/4 mile track puts a strain on these guys. You know, they're turning their motors a lot more RPMs than they're used to doing, and they're at a more prolonged period of time because of the length and configuration of the track. And look who's right on Brian Vickers' bumper right now, Mike Laughlin Jr.
He really came up through the field. He's kind of stalled out on fourth position. Now, of course, inherits third by virtue of Bobby Gill's exit from the race. Jeff Agnew doing a good job moving inside on Martin Nesbitt and taking Clayton Rogers with him.
Yeah, taking those rookies with them, you know.
While we watch some action deep in the field, or not so deep really, but among the top 10 drivers, we know that Stephen Cox has caught up now with Bobby Gill, the former champion. Stephen?
Well, crew chief Steve Dews says they're looking at rocker arms, they're looking at valves, they're looking at anything under the hood right now. They know they lost at least one cylinder, and yet again they have an engine problem with the Bobby Gill car. He's been snake bit at least a couple of times this year. We hope to catch a word with him here in just a few seconds, but it's got to be a huge disappointment for a guy who, with one exception, has won or didn't finish almost every race. Now what is the problem, Bobby?
Something in the motor again. It's the third time. I don't know what's wrong in this motor. Something's wrong with it. But to do something different, I know that.
You know, it looked like you really had something for the leader, though. Did this come on suddenly, or was it slow?
Yeah, it happened when I got up behind Mario there. We just had to ride, and Mario's pretty good, and I just bided my time, you know, try to get there at the end.
You know, this is a track that Bobby Gill is learning not to like. He's been here 3 times now, you know, both times this year and the last race last year. And he's had 3 DNFs. And here's a pass for the lead.
Wow, Mike Laughlin Jr., who has come through the field like a rocket ship, goes right around Mario Gosselin on the outside. Gosselin seemed like he got out of the gas a little bit and made it easy for the big guy.
You know, we've seen this before. You know, it was at Myrtle Beach where Mike Laughlin Jr. was really, really quick. And like, you know, like we said, let's see if we can see on the...
Tried to turn it down. Laughlin just drove off the corner.
Yeah, he just drove off the corner and goes around Mario, you know. But you know, we said it earlier. Is it the new rule change? Mike Laughlin, you know, his father's owner of the car. You can't ask for any better experience for that, you know. And Jason Kellett, the crew chief, have definitely set this Ford Taurus up, you know, for the race. You know, we talked about qualifying a race, but you know, right now the Ford's really hooked up.
Well, we could also talk about Ford versus Chevy. and Pontiac. There are a handful of Pontiacs in the field, but Fords have won every race so far this season, as we're watching out the window of Buggy Pletcher's Big Daddy's car. So maybe there's something coming up, and we're hearing that possible rule change for Montgomery, something that would give the Chevys a little bit of, give them back something that they're apparently missing right now to the Fords. Clearly the Blue Oval guys are pretty happy at this point in the season, but the bow tie guys are not, right, Stephen?
Well, they really are, Brian. And in fact, I actually talked to a Chevrolet driver who was so upset. He said, look, I'll take my Chevy stuff and just sell it and go buy a Ford if I have to compete. So these guys are taking it very seriously. Unfortunately, so is USAR. They're going to make the Chevys quicker. That decision has already been made. But when you try to make a race car quicker, there are basically just 3 ways that you can do it. Number 1 would be by making it more slick aerodynamically, using aerodynamic grip somehow to that race car's advantage. Now, that is probably not a very good deal to work on in this series, and here's why. Not all the racetracks we run on are this big. This is a very large racetrack at USA International Speedway, but a lot of them are 4/10 racetracks, maybe half-mile racetracks, where aerodynamic grip really doesn't come that much into play. Now, the second thing you can do to make a race car go quicker is to work on aerodynamic grip. That's springs, it's shocks, it's wedge, it's the actual contact between the tire and the asphalt during the race itself, and that's almost impossible to legislate. The last way that you can make a car go quicker is by getting under the hood. Now, that's what they're looking at very seriously. You can do that by letting the teams do more work on the heads of the racing engines. You could also do it by allowing a spacer that would widen the gap between the carburation and the intake manifold and suck more air and gas down more quickly into the engine to produce more horsepower. So, Bill Venturini, you tell me, you're the expert. We don't pay you for nothing. What's the best way to do this?
Well, you know, you could take something away from the Fords, but being a racer, that's the last thing any racer wants to do, is to have something taken away. You know, the series, we don't have to worry about going over 200 miles an hour or something like that. So what you're looking for is you're looking for something that is going to increase the car and make it a little quicker. I think they're going in the right direction. You know, they've got to work a little something aerodynamically, like you said, Steve. It isn't going to make a difference. I think you have to do it under the hood, and I think they're going in the right direction.
Let's go back to Stephen right now, not for this, but for a word with Dusty Williams.
Well, Dusty, it's got to be really frustrating for you. You come out here with a beautiful new car and a new paint job, and what happened?
Well, it seems like all day during practice we've been running a little warmer in the oil, but we thought that maybe just the center unit was going on the wrong side of the cooler. I guess we just got a little bit too hot in the oil and it blew the motor. I really hate it. I like Mahaney Construction. They give us money to come down here and race this weekend. I sure hate we couldn't finish the race. So far we're over 2, but we're coming back in Montgomery in a couple of months. We're going to finish one and we're going to hopefully be up front.
Now, you took over this ride from Kevin Barrett. Talk about the team, talk about the crew, and how you like this so far.
Well, this is the same team as when we were running with Mitch Shook. My family's back in it now. My mom and dad own this car. It's all my friends from high school and college, all my crew. It's a family thing right now, so we're going to try to piece the motor back together and come back and see what we got. I like to thank God that we all got here safe and had a good practice and nobody got hurt, but thank you.
Now, that's what I like about this series. Family, like you said, his family's involved. He's got his old school chums involved. That's what makes this sport so unique, is that you can have your family participate with you in it.
Discount Auto Parts field summary shows the changes up front as Marty Lindley and Mike Laughlin Jr. have moved ahead of Gosselin. Pair of rookies, Brian Vickers and John Wood, rounding out the top 5, and then you saw the rest of the top 10. And smoke out on the racetrack, and that's Mike Laughlin Jr., the leader, has gone up in a puff of smoke. Man.
I don't know. It seems like tonight's not the night you want to run up front.
I don't know. It sure has bit the leaders. Well, Gosselin's still running. He just isn't the leader anymore, but we've seen 2 of the front-running cars go up and down. And now Charlie Ford, maybe with everybody checking up around Mike Laughlin Jr., Charlie Ford takes his car for a tour of the infield. Laughlin's down on pit road, done apparently. Boy, and let's see what happened, if we can, to Charlie Ford.
You know, he didn't get hit. You can see that he came off the corner and the car just kind of broke loose. I don't know if it was oil from Mike Laughlin's car when he broke that he got into or not, but you know, it definitely didn't get helped. This is not something to. Oh.
Well, we've already agreed it's not good when they go under the hood and the green flag is still out. It's not good if there's a yellow either. Welcome back to the Lucas Oil 250 at USA International as the crew pushes Mike Laughlin Jr.'s Valinite tool Ford behind the wall. You know that their night has come to an early end, and with this caution flag, a lot of the leaders are coming into pit. Stephen Christian coming in the 0 car. Don Satterfield is right behind him, and look at the scramble on pit road. You know, these guys stand around with their hands in their pockets most of the evening, but when it comes time to make a pit stop, they go to work. Discount Auto Parts crew working on the 21 car there as Derek Kelly waits.
Did you see what the guy in the right front did? He pulled a spring rubber out of the right front of the car while he was changing the right front tire.
Now they're running around to the left side and going to take on 4, it appears.
And you notice, you know, these are all the guys who are running more towards the middle of the field here that are making their pit stop. Bill Clemens Jr. and Hooter Restaurants Ford. Now, you made a comment, these guys standing around with their hands in their pockets. Let me tell you, you don't stand around in any race with your hand in your pockets. I can tell you, I pace an awful lot.
Yeah, but they can't do much until now. Yeah. Now is the moment that these guys live for. There's the crew on the Carlin Financial number 45, the 07 of Tim Clayton. Service is done, he's out. And Stephen Cox is caught up with the driver of the 7 car, Mike Laughlin Jr. Stephen?
Well, here's a guy that could really, really use a break for once. Michael Laughlin, first of all, tell me the good points. You looked strong.
Well, we was, man. I ain't had a car that good, and I can't tell you when, man. I was just riding. I wasn't even giving it all I had, but motor, I'm very disappointed. I mean, motor let go. I mean, I can't buy a break this year. I mean, I can't say enough about my guys that work hard on this thing, but maybe they'll turn around. I don't know.
You know, you're getting a reputation, though, as one of the most resilient characters ever to sit behind the wheel. If that's any consolation at all, you have fought back so many times in this series from all kinds of problems.
Yeah, but I don't know. You just got to keep your head up, man, and go on. But I'll get over it. But I'm very heartbroken right now. We had them covered, but I mean, everybody that falls out can say they had them covered or whatnot, but we did.
Well, what did you feel inside the race car? Did it just totally die?
Yeah, it just hand grenaded going down the front chute right here, and I just shut it off. I mean, it hand grenaded.
Come see us at Montgomery, okay?
All right, thank y'all.
When he says hand grenaded, that means you can't repair it.
Marty Lindley, 2-time winner, is the leader. Mario Gosselin's behind him. Vickers Wood and Clayton Rogers, 3 rookies, rounding out the top 5. And here's the rest of the top 10. Now, they say that adversity is to the spirit as exercise is to the body. Mike Laughlin Jr. is getting a workout. The USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants. Hooters, delightfully tacky yet unrefined. And introducing a great new dressing from Naturally Fresh. Classic Caesar, a special Caesar taste from Naturally Fresh. Welcome once again, everyone, to the Lucas Oil 250 at USA International Speedway. Stephen Cox is caught up now with Shane Huffman, who's also out of the race.
Well, we're playing musical race cars down here. Now, Shane Huffman is temporarily out of the race. Shane's engine let go earlier on, but Shane, I understand that you've been talking with Karen Schultz's crew. Give me the story.
Well, Karen's not feeling real well, so we're going to try to get in the car and just make some laps for her, get her to the best finishing position we can. And like I said, you know, she'd help us out, so we're going to try to help them out.
Now, how do you know you're even going to fit in the race car?
Well, we're about the same build, so, you know, it shouldn't be much trouble. I might have to adjust a little bit, but it should be okay.
Shane may be just a little taller, but that'll work. As we take a look at our Discount Auto Parts field summary, Lindley, Gosselin, Vickers, they've been hanging around. John Wood and Clayton Rogers now a lot of the drivers you pointed out, sort of in the middle of the pack, stopped. The lead guys didn't, and a few that stayed out made up a lot of track position here with this caution coming in the first 90 laps of the race. Charlie Ford on the outside there in the 14, and David Craddock in the 79 Pipeline Utilities Ford. Jerry Reckner slowing down on the racetrack, and under green flag, this is not good. Red's Grill, number 77 car slowing down on the racetrack. No slowing down for Marty Lindley, though, as he takes the Alleluia car out in front with Mario Gosselin hounding him right now.
He was a little sideways coming off the corner. You know, you made the comment about these guys, a lot of guys pitting lap 90. You got to realize that now gives them 160 laps to have to run on that set of tires. I'm not so sure if I would have pitted yet on lap 90, unless you felt that you had to make a chassis change, which we did see the Derek Kelly guys pull a spring rubber out of the right front. So that was a smart move on their part. Look at Mario Gosselin trying to work the inside of Marty Lindley. Just can't get it done right now.
Our Sunoco full field rundown. The next 5 starts with John Kinder, Sean Studer in the Yoo-Hoo chocolate drink car running in 7th. Curtis Davis in the 00 begins 11th through 15th spot, and the 15 car is running 15th. How come that always happens? The 01 car is running first. So there's always a relationship somewhere along the line, coincidental as it may be, between a car number and a position on the racetrack. Take a look at the rest in our Sunoco Race Fuels full field rundown. Marty Ward way back in 26th position, along with Charlie Ford and Don Satterfield, so 3 great veteran drivers. We just heard Shane Huffman talk about replacing Karen Schultz, who is not feeling well out there trying to tough it out, as all good race car drivers do. And again, the list of those out of the race includes Shane Huffman, who's going to get back in.
Yeah, you notice we're watching the 2 leaders here, Marty Lindley and Mario Gosselin. But look who's running 3rd and 4th right now. Okay, you got the rookies now. And, everyone's kind of said, how come I've been picking on the rookies? I haven't been picking on the rookies. I love a rookie field because, that's the future of racing. And I remember,
Whoa, Derek Kelly and Bill Plemons Jr. Plemons turned in on Derek Kelly there, who got a little nudge from the car behind him. Fortunately, no more damage done than what you see here. But Derek Kelly is slowing down on the racetrack, definite contact, and maybe it was the 34 of Mike Herman Jr. Today's final place is Pontiac. Let's take a look. No contact from Herman, just Derek Kelly getting into Plemons. Sorry, I called that one wrong.
Yeah, it looked like Derek Kelly just got right in the center of the corner of the car, just kind of pushed just a little. Now remember, I saw them pull a spring rubber out. Let's see, look at a different shot here.
Oh,
I don't know. It almost,
Bill came down.
It looks like Bill came down and Derek kind of moved up just a little. Just a, incidental racing contact.
Well, the King would say one of them racing deals, and I think I would agree in this particular case. Bill came down a little. Derek might have gone up a little. In any case, Bill's sideways on the racetrack. And
you made a comment, but you thought it was Mike Herman Jr. He did a good job of avoiding that wreck.
And so did Buggy Pletcher going up on the outside. So Derek Kelly's moving up towards the front of the field, coming down pit road. We'll take a break. Be right back. Lucas Oil 250 continues here at Lakeland, Florida under caution. Let's go down to Stephen Cox as Karen Schultz brings the 89 car in.
Well, Shane Huffman has been standing by, ready to go. This was anticipated. They've been talking on the radio with Karen, and she's felt so bad tonight that they've been thinking about this for the last 2 yellows, and just about 5 or 6 minutes ago, under green, they made the decision that on the next yellow, Karen would come in and Shane would jump in instead. So guys, for the rest of the night, Shane Huffman will be in the 89 car. In the meantime, you can see Karen really does not look like she feels very well at all. The work continues behind us on the 89 machine. They're going to make a complete 4-tire stop and try to get Shane back out as quickly as they can, hopefully not losing a lap. Now that's going to be the trick because they're already 1 or 2 laps down, and Marty Lindley is coming past us right now. So it doesn't look like they're going to beat the pace car out and stay on this lap, but Shane's going to give it all he's got.
Well, Bill, they can change 4 tires and put fuel in the car, but to change a driver, it is going to take more time than they have, even though the pace car goes kind of slow around this big track. The Charlie Campbell Memorial Hooters 250 is the next race on our schedule. It is also the second installment in the 4 Champions Challenge. Back downstairs to Stephen with Karen.
Well, Karen, you're obviously not in good shape tonight. Tell us the story behind the driver change.
I've been fighting the flu all week. I have a little bit of asthma, and you know, I thought I was going to be okay. I've been drinking a lot of fluids, but I just, like I said, I've been fighting the flu all week, and it just got to me under that one long caution. I told the guys, I said, I think I can handle it if this thing stays green, but under the cautions, I just can't breathe. So I just ran out of oxygen.
Well, get well and take care of yourself. We'll see you at Montgomery, okay?
No problem.
Boy, you know, some guys get a frog in their throat. It sounds like she had a mouse in her throat. You could see in her face that she definitely was hurting.
Marty Lindley takes them back to the green behind the wheel of his Ford Taurus. That Ford-Chevy battle is still going on as Mario Gosselin in a Chevy and Brian Vickers in a Chevy running 2nd and 3rd right now.
Did you see who was on the inside 1 lap down? Was the 97 car of Marty Ward, Harrison Work Boot Chevrolet.
Marty Ward, that's a very uncharacteristic position for him, a guy that's a very winning race car driver and usually very good at setting up a car. He must have been one of those that, you know, guessed wrong. Had a decent qualifying car, not a very good race car, or vice versa. 3 wide, and Charlie Ford gets caught in the revolving door on the outside.
Nice move by Clayton Rogers. He kind of snuck underneath him in the center of the corner there.
Very heady young driver, Clayton Rogers, behind the wheel of that Fire Protection Services Ford.
Yeah, and I noticed going behind the wall was the 34 car of Mike Herman Jr. in the Carolina Truck Repair Pontiac. You know, I got to tell you something a little about that team. Pete Raymer, who owns Carolina Truck Repair, has a racing team theme is what he's working on. They've got a Legends car, they've got a Bandolero, they've got a late model that runs at Concord Motor Speedway weekly. They got Mike Herman Jr. running the Hooters Pro Cup, and they're kind of one of our associate sponsors in the ARCA series. So this Carolina Truck Repair has got a full team concept that they're working on for the season.
Marty Lindley leading Mario Gosselin, but again, we're monitoring the radio on the 0 car with Steve Christian and Scott Sutherland.
Just lift a little bit sooner and let it break in a straight line, then roll it through. Use the front end to scrub it off. Got to save them front tires best we can.
Stephen Christian moving up through the field and having a good run here. Did not stop under that last caution. He did stop onto the first caution where a lot of the cars in the middle of the pack started, or did stop under the caution. The leaders did not. Marty Lindley did not stop. Gosselin, Vickers, Wood, Rogers, all these guys among the top 5 did not stop in that round of pit action around lap 90. Only 2 or 3 cars stopped in this most recent round of pit stops, including, of course, the 89 car, Karen Schultz, to change the driver. David Craddock also came in, took on 2 tires and fuel in the 79 car, and the 30 car, Mark Nesbitt, stopped. Now Tim Edwards is taking the 12 Edwards Racing machine down onto pit road for an unscheduled stop under green. Lindley and Gosselin, they definitely have the field covered here, these two. We see Gosselin pull up to the bumper every once in a while, and then Marty Lindley just kind of skitters away a little on it.
That's what I've been watching. I'm trying to see who's got the advantage where. And Mario seems to get into the corner just a little deeper, but the minute Marty Lindley picks up the throttle coming off the corner, he pulls him by another car lane. So, you know, each guy's got their car working a little better, a little differently in the corner. Mario's able to get in a little deeper, but Marty's able to come off a little stronger. So, you know, they're kind of staying right where they're at. But, you know, Marty Lindley has really come on strong in the last couple of races. I'm sure there's quite a few guys that want to find out, what little secret has he figured out?
John Wood running 4th, started 5th. And the 5th place car of Clayton Rogers started 18th and is running 5th. And that's because he stayed out while a lot of the guys ahead of him stopped. And he's fast.
Curtis Davis is running 10th.
Slowing down now under caution as Tim Edwards is rolling around the track slowly, but that's not why the caution came out. It's the 37 of Brad Webb, the City Wrecker service-sponsored car. Might need the help of their sponsor before this night is over. The Georgia Boot car stopped on the track and we're under yellow. Now some of the leaders are heading down pit road, and of course, Stephen Cox is there.
Well, Mario Gosselin did not come in. Marty Lindley will. Your race leader and the race winner 2 times already this year comes in. And I just talked with the crew chief moments ago, and guys, they say no changes to the race car whatsoever. They have a one-stop strategy, and you're looking at it. 4 fresh tires all the way around, and Marty Lindley goes back out. And Brian Vickers, what can you say about this guy? Qualified way up front tonight. Was running 3rd place when he came in. Another very good race car that needs no changes, guys.
Boy, no changes on both cars. As a driver, that's what you pray for when you come down pit road.
Here's the new leaderboard, and Stephen Christian moves up into 2nd spot. He pitted earlier. Curtis Davis moves up to 3rd. And a look at our upcoming races, starting with Montgomery Motor Speedway and the Charlie Campbell Memorial Hooters 250. And we're going green here. It's the new leader, former leader, and now leader again, Mario Gosselin, pole sitter for this race, who led the early laps. Stephen Christian into 2nd spot. Down on the inside are the lapped cars, and you can see a little bit of a new formation on our Discount Auto Parts field summary. Curtis Davis in the 00, Tim Clayton there. Darrell Hayes moves up to 6th with Chad Mullis in 7th spot. Jeff Agnew has been in the top 10 virtually all night long and is still there.
And you see who was running 9th? Derek Kelly started last, now he's running 9th.
Next to last. Let's be correct
last.
about
Okay,
that. Last row,
right.
that's for sure. But technically 39th has now moved way up as we watch from on board with Stephen Christian. And the halfway award up for grabs. That could be why Mario Gosselin stayed out. He's also got a very good running race car and just didn't need to come in. So the halfway leader is Mario Gosselin. 3 lead changes. Twice he was the leader, and now it is worth $1,000 from Lucas Oil Products.
Well, when your car's running as good as Mario's is right now, and you haven't made your pit stop yet, and the other guys that have pitted aren't able to catch you, that's the sign that you definitely hit the setup right. You know, and Mario knows this. You know, believe me, a driver sitting behind the wheel knows how good his car is. Just like Mike Laughlin Jr. said earlier, you can tell when you've got a good race car, and I'm sure Mario knows that, and says, okay, let's go for the halfway challenge money, then we'll pit and change tires later.
So among most of the leaders, among the top 5, 4 of them stopped. And it has shuffled the order just a little bit. Buggy Fletcher and Curtis Davis racing inside the top 5. Fletcher 5th in points, 2nd rookie behind John Wood, who did pit in the GoRacing.com entry.
Well, he's looking underneath him. Curtis Davis is not giving him the inside line right now, though. You know, and that's, there's nothing against, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You definitely have to protect your position.
We talked to Derek Kelly earlier about the new rule after qualifying.
I'm actually for that rule. It's you know, it's tough for guys. I don't have adjustable shocks, so that means I can't roll up underneath the car and turn a knob and adjust the shocks. And there's guys here that run them, and I'm not saying that they turn those knobs, but I know if my car didn't feel good in qualifying and I was underneath there changing the gear, I'm real apt to turn that little knob. So I think it's really going to help us because we don't have some of those adjustable things, adjustable shocks, and I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that rule in effect. Like Mario said, it's going to hurt the guys that had a bad qualifying run, but they still opt to go to the rear. I mean, they can work on their car, but they have to go to the rear and start in the rear. So it doesn't mean they're not going to be in the race.
Well, that's something I didn't know. That's good, because if you feel you've got something wrong and you need to work on it, then you can go ahead and make the change. You still make, like you said, Derek said, you can make the race, but you have to start in the back.
Mario Gosselin is leading right now, but let's take a look at our Lucas Oil Products halfway recap. The race began, of course, with Mario Gosselin up front after qualifying on the pole. And lap number 58, Bobby Gill slowed down. The problem turned out to be a broken connecting rod. So for the 3rd time here at Lakeland, a DNF for the 5 car. On lap number 73, Mike Laughlin Jr., who stormed through the field, then stormed into the lead around Mario Gosselin on lap number 73, and then bad luck would take its turn with Laughlin as he broke and is now behind the wall, out of the race. On lap number 96, following a round of pit stops, Marty Lindley was your leader, and then he stopped on lap number 119, handing the lead back to Mario Gosselin, who was the only car among the top 5 who stayed out. He collected the halfway award, leading Stephen Christian across the line, and an all-new top 10 following 2 rounds of pit stops in close succession. So Mario Gosselin, who led the early laps, is now leading again, but he's getting all kinds of pressure from Stephen Christian. And Christian now goes around on the outside. Can he make the move stick? Gosselin still has position in down low, but no. Stephen Christian is going to be our fourth leader of the race. Well, the third leader, but the fourth lead chain.
I love to see when a guy can drive around somebody on the outside. You know, what it does to the driver, like Steve Christian, is as you start to put your nose around the outside of the car and you start to pull away, man, it's like your muscles, like you're flexing your muscles. And there's no feeling like that to be able to drive around someone. Look at this.
Yeah, another look at the pass, and he did just drive around the outside.
Yeah, but did you see something? I also noticed, you know, and I don't say this too often about guys, but, you know, Mario Gosselin, what a nice gentleman move. He saw in the mirror that Steve kind of had the line on him, had the power on him, didn't fight him getting into the corner, gave him the line.
Caution again, and the 08 car of John Kinder is around. The DailyDrill.com entry with a rookie driver behind the wheel, up against the wall, fluid leaking out from under the car. We're going to take the opportunity for a quick commercial break and be right back. Some of the girls from the North Lakeland Hooters, that was part of our Hooters of America tour that you saw a little bit earlier. Whoa, they're pumped up here tonight as Mario Gosselin now brings the number 16 car down onto pit road. The Carter Grandel, two-time leader of this race, heading all the way to the other end. And that's where Stephen Cox is waiting for him as the 00 of Curtis Davis is getting service. Let's go to Stephen.
Well, Brian, I know Steve took the lead, but there's a little more to it than that. Now, Mario Gosselin was talking with his crew chief just before he came into the pits, and he said, you know, I really backed off a little bit, and there was some communication there where they did that intentionally. They knew the 0 car was going to get by. They weren't worried about it. What they were concerned about was fuel mileage. He wanted to back off some so they would be sure and make this stretch. Remember, they didn't come in with the rest of the leaders at the last yellow, so that caused them a fuel mileage problem, and they really expected to have some trouble if they didn't get a yellow very quickly. So Mario takes 4 tires with no changes, and he's got gas now.
Yeah, you know, got to remember, this is a 3/4 mile track, and fuel mileage does play into the outcome.
Down to Stephen again.
Well, John Kinder, you took a whale of a pop. Come here and look with me. Come here. Take a look down the side. That thing is it's flat as a pancake on the driver's side. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just a shame that we've been trying to turn this season around for Daily Drill and all our sponsors, and had a good car tonight, trying to run against some of those lap cars, and unfortunately we got caught up on the outside and she went around.
You know, that was a really impressive run.
Well, you know, these guys worked their tails off, and they completely rebuilt this car. You know, everyone's extremely proud to have Daily Drill on board, and they've just put out their best effort. And I was really proud of them in qualifying.
What is this? I think we're at the wrong side of the race car here.
No, I think this crew guy is looking for some loose change. Hey, Tim, lift your leg up a second. I think I see a quarter. Take a look at our top 5 here. And John Kinder qualified 10th, but he's out of the race right now. We'll be right back. We're racing at USA International and the Lucas Oil 250 as former leader Mario Gosselin. Get a good look at him as we look at our Sunoco full field rundown. Stephen Christian is the leader with Tim Clayton right behind. Derek Kelly in 6th position after starting 39th. Clayton Rogers rounds out the top 10 after he stopped. John Wood stopped also, as did Marty Lindley. So you can see that the former leaders are beginning to work their way back into the fray. Trent Owens running in 20th position in the Petty Driving Experience car number 32. Marty Ward's problems continue, went down a lap. Bill Clemens was in an incident, and Charlie Ford as well. David Craddock lost a lap early. Karen Schultz's car is now being driven by Shane Huffman, and we just saw John Kinder, who was out of the race. The rest who are also out of the race are listed here at the bottom of our Sunoco Race Fuels full field rundown. On board with Andy Thurman in the 47 car. And we're getting ready now for our weekly tech tip with Stephen Cox. Here's Stephen.
Well, it's the hottest new medium anywhere in the world. Millions of people around the globe log on to the internet every day, and you would be surprised how much attention the Hooters Pro Cup Series gets on the biggest sites anywhere. Let's punch up one of them. It concentrates on Southern stock car racing, and it's called Karnak.com. And the neat thing about Karnak.com is the fact that they have the one and only unofficial Hooters Pro Cup weekly online magazine. These guys have absolutely everything, all of the latest information on Hooters Pro Cup racing, a very nice photo page, and if you want to look up the points standings, here they are. In fact, check this guy out right here, John Wood, a rookie, the 116 car, and speaking of internet sites, he's sponsored by one, GoRacing.com. And you might think that these guys would spend all their time talking about their own driver, John Wood, but that's not the case. In fact, Bill Kaiser wrote a really nice article on last year's Hooters Pro Cup Rookie of the Year, Steve Christian. Now let's punch up chasin'racin.net. It's just like it sounds. There's no G on chasin' or racing. You punch it up, you get a lot of information on Hooters Pro Cup racing in addition to a very nice photo page. It is absolutely amazing how much interaction is now taking place between internet businesses and Hooters Pro Cup racing teams. You can hardly look at the field without finding a .com, a .net, or a .org on just about every car in the field. Now there are two more sites that you really just can't miss if you're a real Hooters Pro Cup racing enthusiast. The first one is this one, USARProCup.com. That's the official site for Hooters Pro Cup Racing. You don't have to read what the press writes about it. You can actually get the same press releases that every sports writer in the country gets right there on USARProCup.com. And the last one, of course, SpeedVision.com.
Thank you, Stephen. Now, if Stephen was talking a little too fast for you, that was www.speedvision.com or USARProCup.com for all the information about United Speed Alliance Racing and the Hooters Pro Cup Series or anything that goes fast with an engine in the case of Speed Vision.
When did they come out with a directory, you know, like a Yellow Pages for the .com companies?
As we took a look at the top five, and we've got problems on the racetrack now with the 89 car, and this is Shane Huffman behind the wheel of Karen Schultz's Naturally Fresh Foods entry, and that's not good. When the going gets tough, the tough goes shopping. And tough guy, I've seen you at the concession stands at just about every race.
Well, you know, the souvenir business, it's such an integral part of this racing industry. You know, so many other people rely on the souvenirs, including the drivers and the sponsors. You know, look at this. You know, you got the John Forrest Kestrel GTX car. The sponsors, this is what they thrive on. That's part of a sponsorship program, is to see the sponsors. Look at the little potty bear souvenir. This is what is it?
Learning Through Entertainment.
Yeah,
Jimmy McClain's sponsor involves that. Right. It's Potty Time Bear. Only people with young kids would recognize that thing.
Yeah, that's not party time. That's potty time.
Now, a moment ago, we saw the rundown showing the start position, and again, out of the top 5 cars, all of these guys started deep in the field. So, racing setup versus qualifying setup. Clearly, these fellas who have emerged in the second half of the race were much more focused on setting up their car for the race than on qualifying.
Well, you know, I'm like I said, we wanted to see how it was going to unfold through the night. I think I liked it. I think I liked the rule change. I think it's really helped bring a little more competitive, with making more guys competitive during the race than being able to just play with qualifying setups. Look how bad the windshields get. You know, you got to realize, you know, the oil and the water and the grease and a lot of that's rubber marks. You know, as the rubber comes off the tire, you know, because you know you're grinding off tires at the racetrack here. The rubber hits the windshield, puts a black mark on it, and you can see. You can look on the left-hand corner right there on Buggy Pletcher's windshield. You can see some rubber still stuck on the window.
He was behind Stacy Puryear early when Puryear had
Lost
an
an
oil
oil
line blow
right.
up. And point in case, David Pletcher, who's running 4th right now, started 26th.
That's when you want, and when you have something like that, that's when you want to have one of those windshield tear-offs so that when you come in for your pit stop, you can peel that plastic coating off the window and you've got a clean view again. And look at, as we're speaking, look at Mario Goslin working the inside of Darrell Hayes right now.
Darrell Hayes in the Carlin Financial number 45. There's Stephen Christian, your leader, who started 17th. Just ahead of him is Marty Ward in the 97 car, who lost a lap and is now technically has his lap back by being in front of the leader. Mario Goslin has gotten around Darrell Hayes now and is once again heading towards the front.
Yeah, but what Mario's got to do now is he's got to work traffic. So the advantage of his new fresh tires is going to start to get used up just to get through traffic. He may end up using his tires to be able to get through to catch Stephen Christian.
Whoa! Oh, and the 07 car zooming around. We caught a glimpse of that, and then our camera guys grabbed it too. Tim Clayton, who started 30th, was having a great run among the leaders in the Santa Fe Logistics car, and now he went around. There he is.
He had a little help from Buggy Pletcher there.
Yeah, racing for 3rd and 4th. And around he went. There's the tail end of the spin, and Buggy Pletcher leaving the scene of the crime. He had a great save, kept it off the wall, but not by much. So the pace car is out on the racetrack, taking the field around slowly. Let's go downstairs. Stephen Cox is caught up with Jeremy Bowser.
Well, first of all, Jeremy, are you okay? Why the driver change?
Yeah, I'm fine. The car was running great. I had a broken header, and the exhaust fumes was getting in my eyes, just burning my eyes. I didn't want to put myself or anybody else into danger. These guys worked hard all week, man. And I just hated to get out of it because we were running in the top 15 right there on the lead lap, and just I had to get out. I didn't want to put myself into danger, like I said.
This race is taking its toll on the drivers.
And they're taking some attention to the 21 car. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Lakeland, Florida, as the Lucas Oil Products car leads the Lucas Oil 250. Brian Vickers, who qualified 3rd, is running 2nd and is one of the only cars up front who is running so well and qualified well. He's the subject of our feature this week.
Of course, my dad, I can't thank him enough. You know, he's pushed me in every direction. You know, whatever I wanted to do, he was fully backing me. And we tried every sport you could think of, you know, all of them. And then we finally got to racing. Ever since then, I never could quit.
Brian went on to win many championships and was just voted Rising Star of the Year by Motorsports Magazine. But when he isn't driving, he's studying.
Education is a very important thing, you know. But, whew, man, school's tough, you know. Here lately, I've been going from 8 in the morning to 12 at night, making up time for the several days I'm out racing this car. But I don't have a lot of social time. I can't complain because I am racing a car.
Racing in Hooters Pro Cup has been very challenging, but Vickers has already earned 3 top 10s this year and is one of the best rookie drivers.
A rookie has to earn the veterans' respect no matter what, and it's not easy to get. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. You know, you still got a lot more to go, and I still got a lot more to learn. I just hope that, you know, they race me hard and clean.
Brian is serious about racing, but keeps a lighthearted attitude, such as his thoughts about what he's thinking right before drivers start your engines.
Make sure I don't start the engine too quick. I always say something, you know, I'm always thinking about that. I think you look stupid if you've done that. You know, you sit there and crank the engine, they haven't set it yet. We'd like to do very well, maybe even win the rookie points. That's not going to be easy. I think we got the team and the cars to do it. You know, it's just the right time, the right situation. You know, I can't wait until the race week, till race weekend and get in that car. Oh man, that's the biggest high.
Brian Vickers, and there's Chad Mullis in the Mullis Racing entry, having a good run here in his debut in the Hooters Pro Cup, but they've got the hood up, and Bill, that's not good.
No, not good, you're right. We've seen a lot of not good things tonight.
And we're watching racing out on the track. Darrell Hayes in the 45 car. Behind him, Martin Nesbitt in the State Fair brand Corn Dogs machine. Let's go downstairs. Stephen Cox is with Mullis.
Well, Chad had a really nice run going. You know, this is the first time that we've seen a number 10 out on the racetrack in a Hooters Pro Cup car in quite a while. You guys know the last guy to wear this number was Mario Gosselin, the 97 champ in this series. Well, Chad's going to get out, and it's the end of a very good night for him. Chad, can you tell me what happened to the race car?
Seems like push rod kind of get out the valve cover. Lost 2 cylinders there. Charlie Long built us a real good motor. It just didn't last but 200 laps.
And it looked like it took did some taxing on your body too.
Yeah, it's been pretty hot out here today, and it's tough.
Now, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong. If you've got a push rod sticking up through the valve cover, that's not good.
Or out the bottom of the oil pan, either one.
Yeah.
But boy, you can see, you know, the humidity from the rain earlier today has really taken a toll on these drivers. You can see they're getting out of the car. They're pretty well fatigued.
Our Sunoco Race Fuels full field rundown. Tim Clayton running in 11th spot with Curtis Davis there. Jabe Jones in the 09. We haven't talked much about the man in the Jackaroo Sauces car. Marty Lindley, who led this race earlier, is back a ways and trying to get towards the front. Don Satterfield in the Hawk Saw Blades entry number 1 back there with Jimmy McLean and that Learning Through Entertainment Chevy. And you can see that attrition has taken its toll. As you say, the race and the heat have taken their toll on the drivers inside the cars. The guys that are still driving are going to have to put up with a little more.
Yeah, and looking at the action on the racetrack right now, John Wood, you know, we haven't talked much about him tonight in the GoRacing.com Ford, but look at him. He's just kind of waiting for a break here. He doesn't know who he should follow. Should he go behind Jeff Agnew or Buggy Pletcher?
Well, that John Wood and the GoRacing.com crew, the Wood Brothers guys, do a great job every week. John is always in there somewhere, and he's very fast. Right now, he's showing a lot of patience of a rookie driver. While Stephen Christian, former rookie champion, leads this race starting from 17th position. Lucas Oil is here this week with a big hospitality suite set up.
We're real happy to be the sponsor of the Lucas Oil 250 Hooters race. We sponsored a race last year and had very good results for it, and we wanted to do it again this year and bring our customers here and entertain them a little bit and be a part of the whole USAR experience. We wanted to sponsor this race at the USA International Speedway because it is one of the larger tracks in the series. It's got very nice facilities and very good crowds show up, so we wanted to be a part of that and expose ourselves to a lot of the fans at the racetrack as well as on Speed Vision.
We put together a hospitality tent, and Jim Terrio, our national sales manager, put together a promotion with Cummins. They're a new distributor of ours. And we put together a promotion. If they bought a certain amount of product, you know, they could get VIP tickets, hospitality tickets, and it just went over fantastic. I mean, it was really what you hope for as a company, as a sponsor, you know, to have a promotion go over as well. We've got a bunch of people coming tonight and here to watch some racing.
That, you know, that's what you want your sponsor to do, is not just put the name on the race car, but to participate in everything. And boy, you know, Brian, I think I want to put an order in for some ribs.
And notice on the dash, www.lucasoil.com, another .com, as our top 5 look like this. Welcome back to Lakeland, Florida, and the USAR Hooters Pro Cup. Lucas Oil 250, watching Clayton Rogers and the 07 of Tim Clayton. So it's Clayton and Clayton side by side, just behind the 00 of Curtis Davis. And looks like Tim Clayton getting the best of Clayton Rogers. Derek Kelly might take advantage and go underneath too.
Clayton Rogers wrecked 3 times going down that straightaway, except there just never was a yellow.
He just never hit anything.
Oh yeah, he bounced a little off of Tim Clayton on that one.
Our Discount Auto Parts top 10, Andy Thurman finishes that list. Regan Smith with a pretty good run there in 9th place. We watched Jeff Agnew, the 73 car and the former champion who won both the rookie title and the championship in the same year, 2 seasons back. been kind of quiet, but very quietly hanging around among the top 10 all night long.
And look at Brian Vickers working underneath Steve Christian. Tried to get underneath him, got a little sideways, had to back off of it.
Christian is the leader. Brian Vickers in the 42 car, the CV Products 2 Quick Performance Racing Shocks entry. And among all the good qualifying cars, really he's the only one that qualified well and is racing well.
Yeah, you made a comment that too quick shock. Well, I'll tell you what that is, because we've been testing it. We've been using that shock now on our Archer car. What it is a joint venture with Clyde Vickers, who owns CV Products, and Derek Cope, the Winston Cup driver. Derek Cope has brought in the technology from Formula One racing with this new shock, and that's kind of what was mentioned when they said about making a shock change between qualifying and the race. Those shocks are adjustable, and you can make a little click on it and make the shock either stiffer or softer. But a great piece. I know Brian's using them right now, and they're very happy with them. As you can see, they seem to be working pretty good. We've been using them on our Archer car now. We use them for the Charlotte race, and we're going to use them again for Michigan coming up.
Stephen Christian, the leader in traffic, with only Brian Vickers running with him. Mario Gosselin off the pace of those two slightly, and there you can see the start positions. Gosselin running third was the pole sitter, so I should have added his name to the list, but he slipped back into the field quite a ways and had to work his way back up. Then you can see among the top 10, Regan Smith and Andy Thurman, both who started well out of the top 20, are among the top 10 late in the race. Stephen Christian, the leader, and all evening long we've been monitoring his radio communication with crew chief Scott Sutherland.
He goes in pretty hard, then he catches us right through the middle, but then he picks up the gas early, he drives to the fence, and we get a good run off the corner and leave him. So he gains a little in and just a touch through because he picks up the gas early, then we leave him coming off the corner. So if you can stay right on the bottom, there's no way that he can get us.
Yeah, Scott Sutherland was talking about Brian Vickers, who's working the outside right now. He's telling Steve Christian, keep the car on the bottom, and with the way they're running right now, that he doesn't feel Brian Vickers is going to be able to get him.
Putting Jimmy McLean, number 3, in the Learning Through Entertainment Chevy, a lap down. And Brian Vickers running some other new technology on his car. Under the hood, there's a little bit of something new.
Yeah, they've got the Serpentine drive kit belt system on their car. And again, I've got a good relationship with Clyde Vickers and Brian, and we've been doing the testing on that system just like he is. So right now, the only two cars that are running it in the racing right now is Brian Vickers and my son Billy. But it seems to be, it's the new technology of today. It's no longer a V-type belt. It's a Serpentine belt, which is all the new cars today have it. It's like a timing belt also, and seems to be working pretty good for Brian right now.
Jeff Agnew 4th, Dave Buggy Pletcher running in 5th. John Wood, the leading rookie candidate so far this season, starts the second 10, and Mark Nesbitt in the number 30 State Fair brand Corn Dogs is in 10th place. Derek Kelly, what a run he has had, up from the back of the field, the last row, well into the top 10 right now, as this battle for 12th position includes Derek Kelly. He has been running among the top 10. Now he's just outside as they go around Charlie Ford, the Sun Graphics Chevy not having its best night. And Tim Clayton and Clayton and Clayton still going at it there.
Yeah, they just keep kind of swapping paint right now.
Rogers tries the outside on him, but Tim Clayton getting a good drive off the corner, comes in.
Got sideways coming off the corner that time, and that gave Clayton Rogers the open door to get around him on the outside.
Good drive off the turn and down the straightaway. Makes the position change a lot easier than it looked a while ago, but Tim Clayton's coming right back at him again. And this is one of the best races on the track. That was Darrell Hayes in the Carlin Financial number 45 getting all end swappy there.
Well, we're coming down to the final laps of the race, and everybody's tires are starting to give up. A lot of these guys pitted on lap 90.
Yes.
So they're like 130, 140, 50 laps on their tires, and it's showing. They can't get a grip of the racetrack coming off the corner. Now, we got a spin right now.
That's Craddock, David Craddock, number 79, and the Pipeline Utilities Simcoe Ford got a little fire on the brakes.
Fire.
A little brake fire there on the right side. He's pointed straight down the track.
Boy, have you noticed everybody has definitely flat-sided their cars tonight.
Latest caution in this race. We'll be right back. We're back and still under caution, but it's the second one since we left you. The 09 car, Jabe Jones, got together with a 12 of Tim Edwards on the restart, and that brought out a second quick caution. Now Jabe is pointing down inside the car, but it's the outside that doesn't look very good. Here's what happened.
Oh yeah, and get right in the bottom of the corner, you can see Tim Edwards just got into Jabe Jones, and drove him into the wall.
Just pushed a little bit more, and both of them ended up against the outside onboard Buggy Pletcher. You can see them, they kind of got locked up together there after the initial contact. So Tim Edwards heavily damaged on the right front, and we saw the damage there to the 09 of Jabe Jones. Let's go down and talk to the crew chief on the 42 car, interim crew chief to be exact.
Well, you guys are looking really good out there, and you know, nothing's gone wrong yet. I mean, are you crossing your fingers?
No, we're just running a good race, that's all. We'll see what happens at the end.
What have you got for him at the end?
We'll find out, won't we?
Well, now, come on. It's on. You know, you can do better than that. Have you got a little more for him?
Well, we'll find out in about 15 laps, won't we?
Okay.
Well, that's definitely the comment of somebody that knows something.
Yeah, well, it's Stevie Levitt, the interim crew chief on the 42 car of Brian Vickers. As we look at our schedule, our next race, Montgomery Motor Speedway, is the second round of the Four Champions Challenge, the Charlie Campbell Memorial. And a lot is at stake, especially for Marty Lindley, the driver of the 01 car, who was awarded the win in the first of the Four Champions races. So he's the guy that stands to make the big bucks. 7 laps remaining now for Steve Christian to hold off Brian Vickers, Mario Gosselin, Jeff Agnew, and the rest.
Steve Christian got a good jump on that restart. You know, if you ever needed a good one, it's with 7 laps to go.
Well, Brian Vickers, a rookie driver, is looking at the former rookie champion.
Yep.
And a season of learning made Stephen Christian the race car driver that he is today.
Yeah, but Brian's not only got to look out his windshield at who he's trying to catch, he's got to look in his mirror and see who's in his mirror, and that's Mario Gosselin.
I would be very concerned if Mario Gosselin was in my mirror, and considering that he's led the race on 2 different occasions here tonight, we know he's fast. Back a little bit deeper in the field, Andy Thurman leading Buggy Pletcher, Darrell Hayes lap car down on the inside. Pletcher, who started 26th, is running 8th right now and trying to get a little bit more.
He keeps looking to go underneath, getting into the corner, but Andy Thurman's able to hold him off.
The money laps are upon us right now. The final laps in this race. David Pletcher running well all season long, one of the top rookie contenders. Up front, Brian Vickers, the 3rd rookie in points. John Wood, the leading rookie, is there too, and 4 laps remain now for Vickers and Christian, and it looks like it's going to come down to these 2. They put a little bit of a gap on Gosselin.
Yeah, this is when your radio is buzzing. About a lap ago, your crew chief is saying, okay, you got 5 laps to go. It's all up to you. We're done talking. Go get them.
One thing to remember is that Vickers stopped for tires 30 laps later than Stephen Christian. Christian stopped on lap 89, Vickers on lap 119. That could be the difference at the end of the race.
All right, full deck up to you. Cover the bottom now. Cover the bottom.
Scott Sutherland talking to Stephen Christian right now, telling him to cover the bottom.
Yeah, he better.
And Vickers is using the chrome horn on him now, and giving him a little tap.
Hey,
he's got a fender under. He's alongside, and that was a very veteran move by Vickers.
Drive hard, drive
and
hard,
Gosselin
drive hard.
saw it happen.
You're clear, you're clear. Go get him.
And now
get
Vickers is the leader, and he's telling Sutherland's telling Christian to go get him, but Gosselin is looking for the same move down low. Final laps of the race here at USA International. We're down to 1 lap to go, 3/4 of a mile, and Brian Vickers definitely had something for him, because now that he's made the pass, he's opened the gap.
Yeah, and he smart move. I mean, he passed him like a professional. He knew he couldn't get around him on the outside because he didn't have enough, so he had to move him from the inside line, but he moved them just right without having to wreck them. And here we are.
Oh, and Gosselin's trying the same thing on Christian, but the checkers are waving. Vickers is going to become the first rookie of the 2000 season to see victory lane.
Okay. Now the rookies have won. Okay, now everyone will get off my back for picking on the rookies, but I haven't been picking on them. This rookie class this year is the best rookie field I've seen in a long time.
And crew chief of the race will go to Bruce Rance from the 51 car of Buggy Pletcher, the W.J. Plemons Investments crew chief of the race. His car finishes 7th after starting from 26th. And the victory celebration begins for the season's first rookie winner. We'll be right back to join it. The USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants. Hooters, delightfully tacky yet unrefined. And by Jackaroo Sausage. Jackaroo tastes so great they named a steakhouse after it. By Naturally Fresh Dressings. It's not just our name, it's our promise. And by Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer. Brian Vickers climbing out of the car and celebrating along with his crew. What a great job these guys did as Vickers brings home not only his first win, but the first win for the rookie class of 2000. Vickers and Wood bookending the top 5 with Christian Gosselin and Agnew in between. 5 rookies in the top 10 as Buggy Pletcher, Regan Smith, and Curtis Davis. How about Tim Clayton? After his spin, still manages a top 10 finish. Darrell Hayes, my apologies, did not lose a lap. He was the last car on the lead lap. And Trent Owens rounds out the top 15.
Derek Kelly ends up 12th after starting, 39th?
On the last row. Don Satterfield in 16th spot. Jabe Jones, his late race incident. A lot of attrition in this race, and a lot of guys who we had seen do well didn't have such a good night here today. Marty Ward and Charlie Ford among the veterans that had a tough night. There you can see the top 30. John Kinder. Bobby Gill finishes 35th. His second DNF here at Lakeland in one season. And Shane Huffman, who DNF'd his own car, got into Karen Schultz's car and had a wreck with it.
That one, right.
The packing up is beginning, and the celebration is just underway.
What a move. Just a couple of laps left. First of all, Brian, congratulations, but I got to ask you about the move before anything. A big bump coming out of 4. Talk me through that one.
Oh, man, you know, these fans like to see racing, and I like to race. I'm not a dirty driver. You know, when it comes down to 5 to go, you got to race. I try to race as clean as I can. Like I said, man, I didn't mean to get into him there at the beginning that first time. I got in a little hot. You know, it's my fault. I wasn't all the way there, but I was. He didn't know. I guess he didn't know I was there. You know, I apologize for that. But the second time, you know, I was racing. I was trying to win. I was trying to please these boys right here. These guys, they did a heck of a job in the shop for me. 2 quick shocks, man. Those are heck of shocks, man.
Now, I asked your crew, I said, does Brian have more? I mean, if you really need it, do you have more? This was with about 15 laps to go, and they wouldn't answer me. Will you?
Well, we got, especially my father, he's real superstitious. He's a good guy. He supported me all this time. But he ain't going to put no jinx on anything, that's for sure. But, you know, the 0 car, he was quick. They had that long run. He got away from us, but I was just trying to save my tires. I know we had 70 laps to go. If he wanted to burn his off, you know, and maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just using what his car had. But as for my car, I couldn't run that fast at that time or I'd have melted my tires.
Yeah, I've never heard of a racer being superstitious. Yeah, we all are.
The incentive risk management smart move of the race. Well, Brian Vickers made a few of them out here tonight. One of them was coming into pit after he realized he couldn't take the halfway award. And then when he passed Steve Christian and blocked Mario Gosselin at the same time, we'll give him 2 for the price of 1. Brian Vickers, smart moves of the race. Take a look at the points. Gosselin, it was virtually a dead heat between Lindley and Gosselin. 5 points difference coming in. Gosselin takes the lead.
And look at Steve Christian. He's now 5th. At one point, he was 30th in the points. And look at this, 6th through 10th. There's only 56 points separating these guys.
Bobby Gill, the big loser, goes from 3rd to 8th in points with his DNF here tonight. Let's go downstairs once again. Stephen Christian and Stephen Cox.
Well, he's disappointed to be in 2nd. That's understandable. Man, you had a good car tonight. Would you have done the same thing?
Honestly, I have to say I would. You know, it's last lap, it's everybody for themselves. And, you know, he had been coming all night. He was just a little bit quicker than us through the center of the corner, and that's where he got us tonight. So, you know, the Lucas Oil Products car was super good. After we made our pit stop, the first half of the race, we were just kind of hanging on, waiting until we could come in and make some adjustments. We did that. The guys had a super pit stop again, just like last week, and we came out and just held off all we could. Our tires were just a little bit older, but I don't really think that had anything to do with it. We got beat.
Okay, that was just an obligatory question. Now I can get you out of the way. Introduce me to the real star here. Hi, Guy.
Say hello. This is Luke. This is a future driver. Obviously, he's ready to go to nap time.
Yeah, we got to work on those interview skills a little bit.
Send him to school.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stephen Christian, and a young fan and family member, future driver, you heard him say. Well, the post-mortem is still going on, but no problem with the State Fair Corn Dogs hard charger. Curtis Davis started 33rd and finished in 10th spot. Our rookies still are led by John Wood and Buggy Fletcher. Brian Vickers moves closer to them, but is still in 3rd position and is the rookie of the race. Miller Lite rookie of the race, Brian Vickers, did it all here tonight. Victory lane and top finishing rookie. Thanks to our crew, hardworking guys, and we'll see them again at the Charlie Campbell Memorial Hooters 250 from Montgomery Speedway in Alabama. And that is just coming up before you know it. Check us out online at www.speedvision.com. Our thanks to Racing Electronics. And my thanks to Stephen Cox for all his hard work down on pit road, getting wet, and Bill Venturini here in the booth. I'm Brian Drever. Thanks to you, of course, for joining us. We'll see you next time. So long, everyone.